The work is the goal. And if you're constantly chasing a future outcome that's not yet here, you're constantly going to be living in a sense of lack. This really isn't conducive to progress. If you're constantly feeling like you're missing something, how can you ever expect to enjoy your work and enjoy what you're doing? A goal in life gives you direction, it's true. But to identify with the goal, to identify with the identity of that thing is extremely dangerous. It leaves you susceptible to psyops, it leaves you susceptible to emotional manipulation from other people. There's a reason in the Bible that they forbid idol worship. That is because by worshipping that idol, you are putting yourself open to manipulation from people who take charge of that idol and who claim to own that thing. No one can own God, only God can own God. And you don't even really need to be religious to understand this concept, right? It's quite simple. If you worship a trend, right? If you call yourself a gym maxer and you identify with as the type of guy who just goes to the gym and lives in the gym all the time, all it takes is for someone to come along and say, they're the king of the gym, and you will, even if you don't understand it consciously, part of your soul will start to direct towards that person and start to follow that person. That is the danger of idol worship. And so the only way out of this is to enjoy the work itself, enjoy the journey, enjoy the progress. It's all this kind of trite stuff that you already know, but just need reminding of, that living in the present is the only way to be content in the long term, to enjoy the process, which is why it's so important to find something that you can love and find something that you can be passionate about every day, regardless of the outcome. If you can't do that, then you're going to always be looking at your watch, and you're going to be like, okay, when is this over? When is this ending? And it's not sustainable. You're going to crash at some point and you're going to want to quit. So you've got to look at the work as if the work is the goal itself. The people who last the longest love the process. Lifting weights because you like lifting weights is the best way to get jacked. Working in a business or doing sales because you love the process of guiding someone towards a good outcome and coaching them towards an offer that you know is going to help them, that is the best way to make money. It's actually not about the outcome at all. It's about being the kind of person who loves doing the inputs. Creating should be the goal for you. Doing the work, making the thing. To do that is to live and to follow in the footsteps of what God intended. And again, you don't have to be religious to really appreciate this. Just approach it from a logical point of view, right? If you are sat there and obsessing with the outcome all the time, then the moment something goes wrong, the moment you don't get that outcome, and there is always that risk, you'll spiral and you'll quit. And you've probably done this 5-10 times before, right? You start something, you get 6-7 weeks in, the outcome doesn't come as soon as you thought it would, and then you quit. Well, if you can find something where day to day, just doing the thing is enough for you, then that will never be a problem for you. The trick is finding the right thing. And finding your zone of genius, finding that thing you're naturally talented at and are passionate about, is not an easy thing by any means, but it's certainly possible, and I think it's worth doing for everyone. The path itself is presence. If you can enjoy the work, if you can enjoy the people around you, if you can enjoy the process and enjoy the journey, then you'll hit your goal eventually. You'll move in the right direction, but you'll get there without sacrificing your soul. And that's the main thing. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.